It has to be a great value. It has to do things that other things don't do. It's got to be pretty special. This is Trexonic. This is absolutely the coolest retro, old school, compact stereo system you will find on the market. What I love about these is they just don't make these anymore, but this company still does. Trexonic is awesome, all right? This thing, I'm trying to tell you, there's not many things this machine doesn't do, okay? First of all, you look at it, it's beautiful, it's compact. Look at how much space we're taking up here, right? This is a classic shelf system. Start at the top. Yes, you can play your old vinyl records, you can play your LPs, your 45s, your 33 1/3, you can pay them all. You get the little donut in the middle to put on there to put your 45s on. It comes with, exclusive to us, you're not gonna get one, but 2 needles, so you get a backup needle if you ever screw up the needle, you're good to go. So you can play your records. I move to the front and you'll see not 1, but 2 decks. You have a double cassette deck. Why? Because if you're making mixtapes, you gotta put all that cool music from one tape to another, you can do that. But guess what? It also has a CD tray down here, so I can pop CDs in there. I can record off my CD onto cassette. I can record from SD card onto cassette, because it also has an SD card reader, a USB port. You're getting 2 compact shelf speakers, right? With your subwoofer and your little tweeter, getting all that included. If that's not enough, I got one more for you. Oh, by the way, FM radio built in, so you can listen to your FM stations. If that's not all enough, guess what else it has? Bluetooth. Bluetooth. So now if you want to play any music that's on your phone, you can do it wirelessly with a Bluetooth connection in the machine, or your tablets or whatever. So all your holiday music that you have on your phone, all your mixtapes that you have, your old cassette tapes that you have, you can play. You can play your CDs on here, any CD collection you have. It's all compact and connected. There's even an auxiliary port in there. So if you want to plug in a phone or whatever and do it that way, you can do it that way as well. But for my money, this is the way to go. And I will tell you, I have old records at home, being able to play these again, or to be able to record these onto a cassette if you wanted to, that is awesome. And hearing that needle go on a record, there's just something romantic about that. So, they brought in 1,000. I am down to, what does that say, Pat? 595 machines is all we have left. It is only $50 to get it home. It is absolutely free shipping and handling. You're just gonna absolutely love it. Let me introduce you to our guest who's Skyping in. My good buddy, Joe Harrison is standing by. Joe, I want this for Christmas, Joe. I'm just saying. I would really love to get that for Christmas. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. You know, I would love it for Christmas too. Luckily, I got mine a little early. And it's not only great for me, my daughter is a big vinyl collector. Yeah. And a lot of the modern artists, they release their stuff on vinyl. And it's a different experience, you know? Instead of just going to the store and downloading a CD or downloading a song, you can actually be able to have that vinyl, and then you open up the album cover, you see all the art. There's so much to having vinyl, and having that machine that does 8-in-1, like Guy mentioned, from Bluetooth to vinyl to cassette to CD. It brings back a lot of great memories, but it brings you amazing sound. And you have these great wood grain speakers that are included. So you get the high bass, you get the high treble, that low deep bass that you have on there. But it's when you play that sound, when it fills up the room, we're not talking just like a 10 by 10 room. This will fill up the HSN studio. This will fill up my house. And I love how simple it is. As my vinyl is turning right now, I've got my little arm that drops the needle, and then you hear the crackle for the first time. And then that sound just starts to come out of those amazing speakers. It is just beautiful. It is brilliant. And a lot of us love that vinyl sound, but we miss it because we've had collections of albums for so long, but then you don't have anything to play them on. Now Trexonic is bringing that to you. And this is a company that we just launched here at HSN, partnered with them a couple months ago. 2 items already sold out. This one's already a customer pick. Half of the units are gone, and this is our very first airing.
Joe, what the heck are you listening to?
I'm listening to, oh God.
You know what that music is? That's the music from Cuckoo's Nest when they were in the, that's what that music is from.
Let me get another one.
Yeah, put something else on. That's just too weird.
Good, I like that one.
Joe, you know what's nice though? If you've got old mixtapes, and a lot of us do, I still got them in my house, you can play your mixtapes. But Joe, there's so many recording options on here as well.
Exactly right. That album, I can record it directly to USB, record it to SD card if I want to. So now I can digitize everything. And it really, allows you to take those old memories and then be able to listen to them again. I've got a lot of mixtapes. My wife has a lot of mixtapes. And when you want to hear those mixtapes, it's just a great sound that's coming out of this. Love, love, love that Trexonic is making it so easy. I went from one to the next and with no problems whatsoever. And the great thing about this too is that I can record from different things like Guy mentioned. If I want to record that album to cassette, I've got it. We've never done this before. We have 2 cassettes in one, so you can record from one to the next. And it's just a brilliant item that it doesn't matter what media that you have to play, whether it's an album, a big one, or you have those 45s that are still laying around, those will play as well. But it's also bringing us into the future. So a lot of us have our cell phones, and sure, we have some music that we download. This will now Bluetooth connect to your Trexonic, so you don't have to listen to it out of the small, tiny little speakers out of your phone. Guy, now we can blast it to your Trexonic speakers, these shelf-style speakers. They're designed to fill up the room, and even though you might think, oh, is this too big for me? Am I going to be able to move this around? It's only 7 pounds. You can put this on a leaning shelf. You can put this on a smaller table. You can put this really anywhere that you want, and you're going to be able to listen to that amazing sound that comes from your Trexonic. So, Guy, when you get this at home, bring out your favorite vinyl, bring out your favorite cassette tape, hit that play button, and just enjoy that great music that's coming out of here.
Yeah, and by the way, it does come with a fully functional little compact remote control, so you don't even have to get up to change your music. Here's a CD tray right in here, so when you're ready to play music, all you do is pop it in. Trying to get my remote here, but you just pop it in and put it on, and now you're going to be playing your favorite music. You could access all the different functions from the remote control, so if you want to go from CD to FM radio, or if you want to go to playing records, you can do all of that very, very easily. I've got music playing right now. I love the sound of it. I'm going to turn it up. And you can hear mine. I mean, it's so crisp and it's so clean. These little compact shelf speakers are RCA speakers, by the way. So, I mean, it's a great sound. Mm-hmm. And I think people aren't prepared for that. But it's like, this is why in the old days, Joe, and I'll turn it down so you can hear me. In the old days, the size of the speaker was everything, right? You wanted to get these big, giant speakers because you needed them back then, but sound has come a long way. And then they started to shrink it down a little bit, and then it went away, right? Then people were like, okay, I don't need any kind of way to play music. I'll just grab a radio and I'll just listen to my music on my phone with my earbuds. But we're trying to get back out. We're trying to visit friends. It's so fun to be able to walk up and take a record and put a record on. There's something romantic about that. There's something historic about that, classic about it. I mean, this is very retro. When I was back in the, I'll say 80s. No, I don't want to hear any comments either about this. Back in the 80s, all right, I was in college in the 80s. This is what we had me and my roommate Lee Eckert, my buddy Lee, he might be watching right now. This is the kind of stereo we had in our room. Right, a little compact speaker. We didn't have any room in there. We had a shag rug. We had this white, like, pleather furniture. And you want to know something? We actually won for best room in our dorm with a red shag rug and white furniture. But it was back then it was really, really cool. And I think what's great about times like that is that everything that's old is new again. People love this kind of thing. And you could put it, Joe, what's nice too is it doesn't take up a lot of space. You could put it in any cabinet. You don't have a bunch of wires to run. I mean, you got a little wire for your FM radio that's just a little antenna wire, and then you just plug it in. Yeah. That's all you need to do.
And the speakers have an extra long cable too, so you can put them. They don't have to be directly right beside it. It's a very, very simple setup for you. And once you go ahead and have everything connected, it'll take you less than 5 minutes. Then you drop that album on there, and now you're listening to these tunes. And I love that a lot of these albums, it's older albums. I inherited my grandfather's album collection, and a lot of the songs that he listens to, I now listen to again, and it just brings me back those memories. But the other great thing, you can make it a personal experience. You've got this amazing sound, big dial on here, so you can crank up that sound. And like Guy mentioned, you're not just listening to this in an earbud that's meant for your ear. The way these speakers are designed, it's a hollow speaker system, so it pulls in that sound, but then it amplifies it and kicks it out. It's designed to bounce off the room, to fill up the room, that high tones and those low, deep basses. So it's a unique experience when you listen to it on a music system like this. But guys, if you don't want to share that experience, if you want to hog all the music, there's also even a headphone jack on here. So I can put my headphones on and I can listen to that album and go back and listen to the tones, because this same song, yeah, I can download it, but when you hear the crackle of the needle on the record, and it's such fuller, richer sound when you hear it the way it's presented from an album. And the great thing about this is just one different way to be able to play this. So I went from album. If I want to switch over and go over to cassette, I tap one button. Now I'm listening to my cassette deck. That's two different things that you can play. If you want to switch over to CD, there's a CD tray that's on the bottom. So that's your third option for you. You have AM, FM tuner in here too. So that's another option for you as well. There's an SD card slot, and there's a USB port that's on the front. You might be thinking, why do I want that? That great song that I was just listening to from my grandfather's album, I can now digitize that. I can put that on an SD card or a USB, and then I have it for all my other devices. So I can take this old record and now make it a modern function. And I can also do that with my old cassette tapes. So if you have mixtapes, if you have old tapes from the past, I certainly do, I'm sure you do as well, you can put those in here and you can record and now digitize all that great music. So when you think about this entire system, you know, it's definitely stuff from the past. It's definitely stuff from our present that we're listening to today, but it's also stuff for the future, because all these different devices, they have Bluetooth connections. So now you can also Bluetooth connect to this, and anything that's on here will now play through this amazing sound. You're not listening to it. It's not trapped on an earbud. Guy, when you listen to it on speakers like this, these wood grain speakers where it has that hollow sound on the inside and then amplifies it off the walls, that is just an incredible sound. And when you hit that play button, it fills up the room with all that great music.
You know, it's so much fun to own it, because you've got so many options with it, you know, and that's what I love. You know, in the old days, you just had a cassette player, right? You had a cassette player and a radio. Right. That was it. Right, and before that, it was an 8-track, right? You popped an 8-track in, you put the little matchbook in there so that it would play properly, because if it moved, remember, it'd be like, whoa, whoa. So you do that, and it's got all those different levels of where we've come in music. You know, it's funny, because I've told you this story before. My son, Danny, 19 years old, first time I showed him a record, he's like, that's cool, what is that, a big CD? I'm like, you know, you little sawed-off punk, here's the deal, all right? You didn't come from nowhere, all right? We all had, this is how we lived in the old days, but it's got all that music all under one roof. And not only that, I love the fact that we can show off our stereo.